getting rid of a whole load of ad spaces, then that's going to help you as well. As I say, brand safe, create a safe environment, and communicate that. Just as a, there's some numbers underscoring this. This is a survey that was done about a year ago, sponsored by AdSafe with an American consultancy company called Winterberry, just asking a panel of marketing decision makers how much more would they expect display ad spending to move online if these issues were addressed. And as you can see, the overwhelming majority are saying up to 20%, which is a hell of a lot of money. Okay, another case, or a suggestion of how to be just a bit creative with the targeting techniques that you may have at your disposal, which are more to do with content than with users, is to look at interests. Another case here, we had there were clients that were looking at quite difficult, traditionally difficult to reach target group, and that's pretty much females, males my age, who enjoy eating really good food. They like organic, but only if it tastes good. They like the thought of hybrid cars, but only if they drive fast and they're attractive. They like, sort of like, snobby hippies, really. But it's quite difficult to reach this kind of person, apparently. What you can do with a semantic or with a well-done contextual advertising is put together, and that was what we did here in conjunction with a couple of media agencies who were trying to reach this kind of target audience, was to put together a selection of diverse interests and call that a channel. And then just run the campaign on any content that had anything to do with any of these subjects. And then, as I said before, have a look at how it's going, optimize all that kind of best practice stuff. And this was lovely. It was products like shower oil and natural, nice products that tend to be pretty expensive. So there's budget out there for hard-to-reach target groups. Just an example of how to treat the technologies that you've got, maybe in a creative way. Once you've done that, and the campaign's running, then it does make sense to do a wee bit of marketing in the direction of whoever it is you're running that campaign for, and package the reporting in a way that looks a bit unusual, a bit pretty, a bit special, so that whoever it is who's just spent over average budget with you on high quality campaigns can feel good about that within their own organisation and go and look like a champ. That's fairly does actually work surprisingly well. One of those other things that you can do is also, if you've got any learnings like this, for example, the semantic tree, with different content categories that have been working very well and different ones that have been working badly, both of those pieces of information are fairly unique to that targeting technique, and they're interesting for an advertiser to learn more about how that product has been performing compared with the rest of the content on the net. Gives them some insights. So basically, in conclusion, I think whatever happens in a month's time in Brussels, and not only in a month's time, but in the time after that, where people are deciding on how to actually implement these cookie regulations, it's good to have a plan B. It's good to know the plan B in a lot of detail and understand the tools and techniques in a way that you'll always be diversified and not have all your eggs in one basket. That's actually it. If anyone's got any questions, feel free.
In this world of sort of post-cookie abyss for some of us, semantics targeting is one method. But I mean, have you got any sort of experience with some of the other some of the other options that are out there as well?
Yeah, well, obviously there's a way of gathering IP data that's not user specific. There are products out there that do that. Personally, my own personal experience has been more in the semantic arena, which is what I focused on. But mainly it's the combinations of geographical things, obviously if you're a publisher and have gathered your own proprietary user data, it would be silly not to use that. That's the great thing about demographic user interests. I think depending on the client's wishes and needs, you just need to understand all of the tools you have. I don't, because I'm a salesperson, so I'm not really an AdOps expert in anything much except those technologies that I personally use.
And do you see a day when we will be using semantic targeting specifically in the same way now as, or in the same way as we do now with other targeting technologies?
Not necessarily. I see there's always going to be room for a lot of different techniques, depending, as I say, depending on what the goal actually is. Cookies are not going to disappear either. I mean, they're much too useful. The only, and also, as proven in this case earlier, retargeting really works. Behavioral targeting is also very popular, and depending on what you want to achieve, these things work. That's why they're out there. But I mean, the uncertainty is something that we just need to be prepared for.
Yeah. Do you have any sense of any of the treatments that publishers can adopt to actually bypass or gain opt-in of cookies?
Bypassing?
Well, maybe not bypass, but we're getting the opt-in.
Well, that's what's not clear after May the 25th. At the moment, it's in a small print, isn't it? I'm not sure. Have I understood your question?
Well, and let's assume that publishers need to get some kind of opt-in to be able to use either first or third-party cookies.
Yeah. How invasive that is exactly what we don't know.
Okay.
So, I mean, in worst case, it could be a pop-up every visit or every time saying, "Do you mind if we save some data about your surfing patterns?" In the best case, you say that once, including a yes to setting a cookie to recognize the next study come along, and that's that. I think there's quite a lot of work being done in the background to try and influence this in a pragmatic and also an industry-friendly way.
Sorry, Kate, just to interrupt. Louise Romanis is sitting on the council. I think she's in the room conversation.
Oh, fine.
She sits on the Data Protection Council, so she's probably the best person to have a chat to.
Okay, I sit on the council too.
Oh, okay.
Steve Wood from Brizio.
Hi, Steve.
So all I would say is, the first question came earlier on, it is the e-privacy, it is a directive that is contained within the European Electronic Communications legislation. So that is how it's structured.
Okay, then I apologise, I was wrong.
No, and Christopher Graham is from he's from the ICO. And the ICO being commissioned by the government to work out how this is going to be implemented in the UK, as other ICOs have. And the idea in Europe and the UK are working actively a framework regarding self-regulation. So while I appreciate the doomsday of do you want to track, can we track,
Yeah.
it's something that could happen. It's the best people to speak to are the IB, and they can give you a real clear definition of what's going on with the business.
Okay, I should say thanks to Kate, who's not been terribly well, so thanks so much for coming.